Hello, everyone, uh, or hello, anyone. Once again, as always, Gordon Causey coming live and completely unscripted on this, the fifth day of July, with Candy the Wonder Pup, always who wants her treat because she sees that I'm doing a video. Look at the camera, Candy. All right, sit, sit, shake a paw, shake a paw. Got to teach her a new trick. And peace for the duration of this video. It's going to be a short one, I think. I wanted to talk about something that only just came to my attention within the last 2 weeks, no more than a month, 2, 3 weeks. Again, no more than a month ago. I had heard this cisgender, CIS gender term bandied about. And I had just compartmentalized it, tossed it into the trash bin with all the other what I view as nonsense. This endless acronym that goes on forever: LGBTQ, 2S, blah 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 blah. It never ends, and so I just lumped cis in with that and had no real interest in finding out what it meant until I got into a conversation and someone told me that I am a cisgendered male. And I'm like, no, I'm not I'm not gendered. I am what I am. I'm a guy. You don't choose it. You're born, the way you're born is the way you're born. I'm 5'11" ish, a little over 5'11". That's my height. I didn't choose it. That's just reality. I'm bald. I didn't choose it. That's just reality. I have blue eyes. That's just reality. I have a blood type. I can't identify uh, as anything other than what reality hands me. But what I found out is that cisgendered are for those who are born. If you're a cis, the way they're framing this now is if you're born male and choose to identify as male, if you choose to identify with the sex you were born with, then you are cisgendered. And I'm not playing this game because I can see right through where this is going. This is an attempt to make even those of us who do affirm reality, who do are in touch with reality, who are not deluded. They want us to play the game and to make our gender a choice and just entrench this idea that gender is a choice. And again, gender is not a choice. You're born with it. You're born with XX or XY. You're born with an Adam's apple, male anatomy, female anatomy. You're born with what you're born with. And so I'm not going to identify as anything. It's not a question of how I choose. It's reality. And reality is that I'm a guy. I never assert my pronouns because they're self-evident. And this is such a crazy upside down world that we are living in. And my biggest concern is with children, with our young people, who gender confusion is nothing new. There are individuals who promote this agenda who will say that this trans stuff has been around for all of human history. And to an extent, I will agree. This idea of gender confusion about people not feeling as though they were born in the wrong bodies. Boys have thought they should have been born girls, and girls have thought they should have been born boys, and that goes back into ancient times. This is not new ground. However, it is new ground when we are willing to reorder the fabric of society on the basis of someone's detachment from reality. We have girls' sports, for example, and girls compete with girls, boys compete with boys. And that is not based on a societal construct, that's simply based on genetic and physical reality. And man, oh man, oh man, do I feel for the kids growing up in this world. I've seen little snippets of this Matt Walsh documentary, mockumentary, What is a Woman? Like we need to have a documentary on what a woman is. I've known what a woman is since I was a kid. And everyone knows what a woman is. And this is just part and parcel of what's going wrong in our world. Did want to comment, there was a video that I shared on my Facebook timeline put out by Jordan Peterson. And typically I generally enjoy Jordan Peterson's commentary and his thoughts and his ideas. This one video, what he was equating equating these so-called transgender individuals to being like children, that child that you grew up with, and we all know this kid, and maybe some of us have been this kid at one time or another, where the kid says, we're playing my game, and if you don't play my game, I'm leaving, and they're a miserable little crud if you don't give them exactly what they want. And social media tends to create this illusion that we get these images and these videos of transgender individuals, of guys playing dress up who are going postal over someone not calling them a woman and screaming slogans and everything. And so it's easy to make that leap of the spoiled little brat kid narcissist to, the world revolves around him or her, and everyone better conform to their way of thinking, or else they're going to make life unbearable for everyone. And I have no doubt that element exists. However, I also have to acknowledge, I figure, gender confusion, someone who feels they've been born into the wrong body, we're dealing with deeper issues. We are dealing with far deeper psychological issues that I'm not equipped to speak to, or certainly not to treat or anything of that nature. I don't have the accreditation, I don't have the educational background to treat someone who's suffering from gender confusion. But at the same time, that doesn't preclude me from having a very strong opinion about the prescription of dangerous pharmaceutical drugs like puberty blockers, which is proven to reduce bone density. I would invite anyone to fact check that. It's proven that children on puberty blockers suffer from a loss of bone density, which I would take, that's like osteoporosis, which is a disease typically prone to elderly women. And we're doing this to kids to prevent them from the normal biological process that everyone in the human race has gone through. And then, of course, you go to the next step, and that's mutilating surgeries, where healthy organs and tissues are removed, as in double mastectomies and castrations. This is crazy, and I have a fear about where this is going, about where we're going to be. 10, 20 years ago, no one would have envisioned the world that we're living in now. No one could have ideated that we would be living in a world where a guy pretends to be a girl and then is able to swim in an NCAA sanctioned competition and denies a woman the right to a gold medal or the top spot on the podium and kicks another woman off the podium. That's heinous. And where is this leading? I mean, we just went through this Pride Month where we had all kind of Pride celebrations, and I'm sure that everyone has seen the videos and the images of the public displays of nudity and fetishes that went on, and and this is in public, and parents are bringing their kids to these parades. And again, 15, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, no one could have envisioned this ever happening. When in Canada in 1968, that was when Canada's laws regarding homosexuality were liberalized. Not Justin Trudeau, but Pierre Elliott Trudeau, his father, was the Minister of Justice in the Lester B. Pearson government, and he popularized a famous saying. I don't believe he originated it, but he certainly ran it up the flagpole high. And he said, "The state has no place in the bedrooms of the nation." And for the most part, Canadians were willing to accept that. We were ahead of the curve, certainly ahead of the United States, in being more tolerant, more accepting. And, what goes on, but people would say, what two consenting adults do behind closed doors, that's their biz. That's their business. And most would affirm that. Most would agree with that. They may not agree with that particular behavior, but two consenting adults, fill your boots, do what you want. I don't. When that legislation was brought in 1968, which was 50 plus years ago, I think 55. No one was thinking we'd have public displays of nudity and acting out of fetishes on parade floats going down main streets in cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. And now, look where we are now, where there have been instances where girls have been assaulted in female facilities, locker rooms, bathrooms, and people say, well, it's incredibly rare. Tell that to the girl who gets assaulted. Tell that to her parents, her family. Oh, well, it's rare. You're just a casualty. The reason we have laws is because of rare instances, because murder is rare, but we have laws on it. So where are we going? Where is this going to lead us? And this is a scary concept, but the word is pedophilia. However, there is a group. There are groups within Canada, within the United States, and probably in Europe as well, that are trying to normalize pedophilia. And language is important. So they're trying to move away from this term pedophilia, and they want this term minor attracted person, MAP, normalized. And they're playing from the same playbook that the gay community played to by playing on sympathy. Well, it's not our choice. This is the way we were made. I find, the contradictions in this whole ideology are insane, because on the one hand, okay, you were made a man, but I don't feel like a man. So it's, but then the MAP community will turn around and say, well, I was made. This is the way I was made. It's not my choice to be attracted to minors. It's not my choice to be a pedophile. And I don't think it's going to happen this year, not next year, but within 5 to 10 years, could I see the normalization and the acceptance of MAP? We're sexualizing children now. And that's a scary notion. This idea of childhood, innocence, children who haven't even reached puberty yet are being sexualized in our culture, if you want to call it culture. And so this is one battle I think we can win. But the terms that they're using and that they're tossing at us, if you do not affirm gender ideology, if you do not affirm someone's delusional thinking, then you're called hateful. And there's nothing hateful about affirming simple biological scientific reality. It's not hateful. And as a matter of fact, it is loving to try and bring someone into alignment with what the actual real world is. There's nothing hateful about that. But yet, the proponents of this gender ideology will try and brand, try and label, try and stigmatize anyone who speaks out against it as being hateful, as being non-affirming, as being intolerant. And a YouTube video is of little to zero use at all unless it leads people to speak out in person and publicly with love, with care, but with conviction that reality is reality is reality, and it's not being kind and it's not being loving to simply give in to whatever anyone's delusional self-perception is. That's not being loving. That's being the opposite of loving. So that's the end of my video. I'll keep it under 20 minutes tonight. Comments always are more than welcome. Likes, shares, and all that other stuff. This channel is not monetized. I do this for my own, helps me work through my thought process. It's somewhat cathartic. This is a crazy, crazy world that we're living in, and it's going to get crazier. I'll probably save that for my next video. Get on to matters of faith, because this world needs Jesus Christ more than it ever has, or certainly as much as it ever has, and certainly the most it ever has during my 56, soon to be 57 years on this planet. So I'll leave you there. Keep it under 20 minutes. God bless. And again, like, shares, comments, all of the above are welcome. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.